Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the sweet spot budget. The sweet spot budget is a place where you're really happy. It's $2,000 to $3,000. It's what's really needed to give you the good life in the Philippines. Can you live on less than that? Yeah, you can, and pretty easily too. You know, a lot of people have this misconception since I started talking about the sweet spot. What's the sweet spot? The sweet spot is obviously what it sounds like. The sweet spot is where life starts to turn really sweet. You have enough money to make it, to be happy, to travel, maybe even go to Thailand, maybe even go back to the States for a while and have the income to pay for that, to go back to the States and do what you want to do, or to go to other islands, go to other places in Asia or what have you. That's the sweet spot. Also, it's about having enough income for decent insurance, decent homes, and that amount of money. Remember, if you start out in a gated community, which is okay in the sweet spot because you'll have the money to do it, you can always go down to one of those $80 apartments, or you can start out one of those $80 apartments and you can save money for an emergency fund or what have you. It gives you options. It gives you a lot of options because there's a lot of money there to be had. So it gives you the money to go out and do the things you pretty much want to do and save. Does that mean you're going to be out spending every day? No, it doesn't. But it means that it gives you a lot of excess to do other things. You can pick better insurance, better housing. You can save more. You can travel more. Now, you got to kind of tweak it into where you want to be, because some things you're going to have to kind of, go less on. If you're going to go higher on a house, you might have to go lower on your insurance or whatever. But in some cases, you might not have to if you just live alone. Now, the sweet spot was really meant for 1 to 2 people. Okay, 1 to 2 people can live really decent off of $2,000 to $3,000. Now, a Filipina, they'll tell you, hey, I can live on 500, which they probably can, but do you want to? That's the thing. You know, there's a difference between living and existing. And most retirees, when they retire, they kind of have this idea of, I want to go to the beach, I want to go do this, or I want to be able to do my hobbies, I want to have the money to do the things I want to do. And then they end up with like $1,000 or $1,500 a month, and they're not able to do that. Now, can you still do that over here? $1,000 to $1,500 over here, is it a good place to be? No. I wouldn't want to be retired over here on that amount of money. I retire, I'm on the upper end of the sweet spot and a little bit over probably. The vlog helps me a lot, and I have my municipal pension and a few other pensions that I have. And, I'm kind of happy that I have what I have. I thank God that I do have it, But I see people over here, and when they tell me what they're on, I get to often ask them, do you struggle at all over here? When they're on the lower budgets of like $1,000, $1,250, they say, well, I don't struggle, Steve. But they say, I do miss having the ability to live in a nicer home, or having money to travel about and do things that I want to do more often. So I kind of understand where they're at in that. And it's kind of sad when you see people that, they worked all their lives and then they can't do what they want to do. And here's another good thing about the sweet spot, the $2,000 to $3,000. You can pretty much go anywhere in Asia, including Japan and some places in Japan. You might not be able to be in all the places in Japan, but some places in Japan, China, Malaysia, Bali, many other places throughout the Philippines. There's only a few places in Asia where you can't go. Thailand, Vietnam, you can go to those places. But there's only like maybe Singapore, Hong Kong, some really expensive places where you might have a hard time living on $2,000 to $3,000 because of the rents are so high or whatever. Even in the Philippines, some parts of Manila, you could probably live in some parts of Manila on that $2,000 to $3,000 budget. Would you struggle? Yes. Now, could you go up to Makati and live in Makati? Yes, you could, but you'd be struggling because the food prices are like more westernized up there. You could even live in Trump Tower if you were on the $3,000 level, because Trump Tower has some, I believe, studios in there, and they go for about 12 to 1400. I'm not sure if they're furnished or not, okay? But these are places that you can get if you have that kind of money. Would I recommend living in Trump Tower in the Philippines? No, of course not. That'd be foolishness, because you can get decent apartments out there, decent condos out there, a 1-bedroom, beautiful condo for 400 in places like Florida Sun and General Trias. There's many other places out there too you can get into. Also, you can get into those $80 or $100 apartments, and some of them, a lot of guys out there, when I mention these places, for some reason they're really down on those. Oh, they're dumps. You live in a garbage neighborhood or whatever. And trust me, if you spoke with some of the people that live in these places, they're very happy about them. Do you get the occasional rooster? Yeah, you're going to get the occasional rooster that crows outside your window. Of course that's going to happen. You live in the Philippines. That even happens in some gated communities, believe it or not, that you get roosters. I mean, everywhere you go in the Philippines, there's going to be roosters. Case in point, right there behind me. You know, roosters are a part of the Philippines, just like karaoke machines. You know, it's something that we have to live with over here. But remember, if you plan on coming over here and you want to live well, $2,000 to $3,000. If you want to live okay, I would say $1,000 to $2,000 is okay. Now, could you get insurance on that? Yes, you can. If you're older than 68 or 69, somewhere around there, insurance starts getting a lot higher. It starts going up. You might need more money. So you might want to have some sort of plan where you increase your income or something. Maybe you have some savings or something where you increase your income so that you can, or you have that emergency fund aside so that you can use it to pay for your insurance or what have you. Because when you hit that age, insurance goes way up. No matter what policy you have, it's going to go up, and it's going to go up precipitously at that point. And that's why I tell people, if you're on this budget here, when you reach that point of like 70 years old, what you can do is, instead of living in like a gated community with the pool and all that stuff at age 70, you can tone it down to try to afford better insurance. Tone it down to like maybe $100 or $150 apartment, and put in AC and all that stuff, and then just live that way, and you'll save yourself some money to pay for your insurance. Also, there's other ways you can cut back too. But I mean, if you're in the $3,000 range, you're pretty safe. You might not have to cut back at all. You might have to just cut back on traveling more, things like that. But if you're in that $2,000 to $3,000, you're usually pretty good. You can pretty much live the way you want, however you want, and not have any worries at all. Okay? It depends where your budget is and what you're spending, how much you're traveling, how much you're going out, all that stuff. It's all gonna depend on that. But if you're up on the higher end of that budget, you should have no issues with paying for any type of insurance, because you can go all the way up to $1,000 a month and still be fine on insurance if that's what you want for insurance. If you want a top-notch insurance, and you really want to have everything, then you're going to probably pay through the nose. Would you want to pay through the nose? No, nobody wants to pay that kind of money. But if you want top-notch insurance, then that's what you're probably going to pay. But I would say, I'm not sure what I looked at some of the policies here, and each one's different. They can get pretty expensive, okay, for some of these insurances as you age, especially in your mid-70s, upper 70s, 80s. And we have guys here that are moving in here that are 72, 73, and they're coming in here and they just want to kick back, relax, retire, and enjoy their life, and have decent insurance or whatever over here. Now, some people think that what they're going to do is they're going to come over here and the VA is going to take care of them over here. The VA does not take care of you over here. They take care of your service connections, and that's it. And then they have the foreign medical plan that kind of kicks in a little bit, but it only covers service connections. Remember that, guys, only service connections. A lot of people have misconceptions about that, and they seem to think that when they come over here that everything's going to be taken care of because they're 100%. False information. So guys, be careful. And also, the other thing is over here is, if you take care of yourself over here, and you need to go to the doctors a lot over here, usually you can go to one of these medical clinics around the corner. They're only like $6 or $8 to visit a doctor. Prescriptions over here are fairly reasonable, at least most of them. There are some expensive ones. I mean, I'm not gonna, please don't write to me and ask me what's the cost of this or what's the cost of that. I don't know. You know what I mean? I really don't know. But anyway, guys, be aware you can survive good over here. For anything above $1,000 you can survive on. The question is, do you want to survive between that $1,000 and $2,000 range, or that don't go below $1,000, please. Don't come here if you're gonna live on less than $1,000. It's not worth it. You're just gonna end up on the streets, or something could happen to you or whatever. Don't come over here on that. Can you do it? It's possible. I see people doing it, but I would not recommend it. 2,000 to 3,000, sweet spot. The higher you are in the sweet spot, the better off you'll be able to live, and the healthier you'll be able to live, and the happier you'll be able to live. That's why it's a sweet spot. God bless, guys. Take care.